Hello everyone!
Hello, hello!
I'm Toni.
And I'm Tali.
And we are the Lazy Book Lovers. This is a podcast for book lovers who procrastinate about reading and have never-ending to-be-read piles. Today, speaking of those to-be-read piles, we're doing another reading update!
It's just such a common occurrence at the moment.
We used to be barely be able to do them once every 4 episodes, and
Yeah.
now we're every other episode we've got oh, we've read enough to have a whole nother episode's worth of content.
Yeah, do you enjoy the reading updates? Because
they're happening more.
Loads.
The stats used to support this, that you liked the reading updates, so hence why we made them more frequent. Are you still enjoying them?
Let us
We
know.
try to read a bit on topic now. We read stuff as it comes out rather than 6 months after the fact.
Yeah, try to.
We're trying to. Fourth Wing was our probably most on topic we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go us. You going first or am I? Because you've got more.
Oh, yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah. Go.
I just want to say before we get going, at the time of recording this, I'm aware there's a St. Martin's Press boycott. St. Martin's Press does not operate in the UK, so if any of these are St. Martin's Press books, I'm sorry.
I've not heard of any about this.
Yeah, I'm not supporting them. I am for the boycott.
Okay.
So if any of these fall under St. Martin's Press or Wednesday Books in America, I don't support them. Maybe, I don't know. A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Because
sad.
I think I might have mentioned in the last update, when I was talking about Holly by Stephen King. I'm trying to read a lot of horror that came out this year because I want to vote in the Goodreads Choice Awards, but I want to have read all the options.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the horror that I might have missed this year. So this is one of them that I think will be in the as a finalist probably. So yeah, I read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. Mm-hmm. It's not sad.
Okay.
No. It's very interesting. It's kind of like gothic, southern gothic horror.
Okay.
So I'll read you what it says. And the main character has a normal name, which is quite weird for a T. Kingfisher book. Sam Montgomery is worried about her mother. She seems anxious, jumpy, and she's begun making mystifying changes to the family home on Lammergere Lane. Sam figures it has something to do with her mother's relationship to Sam's late grandmother. She's not wrong. As vultures gather around the house and frightful family secrets are unearthed under the rose bushes, Sam struggles to unravel the truth about the house on Lammergere. I've got completely ruining that.
Well, that is a weird one. Lammergere?
I listened to it as an audio and I can't even remember. Lane. Before it consumes her and everyone else who stands in its way. Probably the lowest rated I would give a T. Kingfisher.
Really?
I don't really rate books. If you follow me on Storygraph, you'll see I don't rate them. It didn't capture the horror of her other horror books. I felt like it didn't really. I feel like she was trying to say something with it. I don't know if I think she should have either gone fully into the craziness of a horror or gone more into the not crazy side, if you get what I mean. I don't
just sticking to eerie vibes.
Yeah.
Was it a bit eerie vibes, bit horror, bit
yeah.
Okay.
I think I don't want to accidentally spoil or anything. I feel like it was about how your obviously family changes when you're not with them anymore. So she's not living with her mum. Her mum's changed. And it seems like her mum, when she lived with her mum, was quite leftist, and now her mum's seemingly very right, political leaning, and like has put up a picture of a Confederate that she never would have had before. Like, and I just think, I think she wanted to comment on that, and I feel like she should have either gone fully into commenting on that or not really touched on it, if you know what I mean. Like,
okay,
it was interesting. It had some quite good visuals, like descriptions of visuals. I wouldn't say it's probably not one I would reread, and I would reread all the other T Kingfisher I've read. So
yeah, I've got Nettle and Bone on my I've downloaded it.
I really want to read that. So yeah,
do you want to do more, or should we do one of mine?
I'll do another one actually, because
okay.
I listened to both of these kind of at the same-ish time, because I am trying to do 30 audiobooks in October. It's still October at time of recording this. I have failed because I literally listened to nothing for a week and I had food poisoning.
But yeah, you've done quite well though. Yeah. Like, you did get through a lot of audios. It still has prompted you to go through a few.
I think I've done about 15 audios. So, you know, halfway. I'll probably just carry it on until November until I've done 30, and then so the next one is Rouge by Mona Awad, which is Awad, which is another one that I think will probably be in the Goodreads Choice Awards.
Okay,
so Mona, can I call you Mona?
We're buds now.
Mona writes interesting horror in that it's kind of like meandering, kind of a little bit plotless, you could say. It's more vibes over anything else.
Favourite kind of thing.
Yeah. Now this book, Rouge, it was too long in my opinion.
Okay.
There was a big chunk of it that I got bored, and I would have really loved this as a short story.
Not really what you want for a horror.
No, it's nearly 15 hours long.
Okay.
And I would say it could have been like 6 hours. Happily.
It is hard to keep a pace up for that long, I reckon.
Yeah. So this follows a lady called Belle whose mother dies, and she has to go. So she lives in Canada, and her mum lives in LA. So she has to go to LA to wrap up like her mum's estate, etc., etc. And it flicks between the now of like after her mum has died and she's trying to sort stuff out, and the past of her as a child. And you know that something happened when she was a kid, I think when she was 10 years old, that she doesn't fully remember now, and it's like something is alluded to the whole time. And her mum is one of those women who's obsessed with like beauty and trying to look young and and she very much passed it on to Belle. So Belle was obsessed with skincare. She spends thousands of dollars, like whatever, and then she finds out her mum's in a lot of debt, which I was really confused about why she would care about that, but it doesn't get cancelled out when you die. It passes on to your children, which is fucking crazy to me. Just if you die, shit happens. Sorry, debt collectors, in my opinion. Like, and she finds out that her mum was used to go to this like lavish, expensive spa, which is kind of like a cult, and it's a beauty spa. And then she starts attending there, and she starts learning more about her mum, finds out why her mum was in so much debt. She spent it on like skincare. It's very good. It has a lot of very good comments on beauty expectations, the skincare industry, how that can be a cult. There was a lot of discussion on the Western beauty ideals, because Belle, her mum is French and her dad is Egyptian, so there's a lot of like kind of racism aimed towards Belle, but it's not like overt racism. It's just like, you know, she buys skincare to lighten her skin and things like this. Yeah. And then when it flicks back to past when she was a child. Her mum is very kind of casually racist in that she's like, oh, you're so exotic looking, your skin's exotic, which are all very kind of, you know, it's crazy that a lot of people would think that, well, her mum can't be racist because she had a child with, you know, an Egyptian man, but yeah, she very much can be, and like, very, very good. I do wish it had been shorter because I just think it would have packed more of a punch because I wouldn't have lost interest.
Yeah.
Very good though.
Okay. Was the spa got like eerie vibes? Or?
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah. People start losing their memories when they've been to the spa, but they're glowing. Glowing. And there's like jellyfish in it as well. Okay. At the spa, they've got like an aquarium of jellyfish, which is just eerie in itself.
Yeah. Like, have you ever been to like an aquarium where they've got like the jellyfish walls and it's all like dark and you're just like.
Yeah, like I'm zoning out for years right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Alright. Bit different in tone. I read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberley Lemming.
How was it?
I love this book. It's so up my street. Let me read the description and then I'll sort of talk about it. Okay. All I want to do is live my life in peace, maybe get a cat, expand my spice farm, really anything that doesn't involve going on a quest where an orc might rip my face off. But they say the goddess has favourites. If so, I'm clearly not one of them. I mean, I get it, don't get me wrong, but he's dragging me along for the ride and I'm kind of peeved about it. On the bright side, he keeps burning off his shirt. After saving the demon Fallon in a wine-drunk stupor, all he wanted to do was kill an evil witch enslaving his people. So, we got our main character. She is a spice farmer. She's got a whole family of spice farmers. They all own land in the village. She goes to the village fair, gets really drunk. On a drunk walk home, she hears someone calling for help, and she goes and helps them, not realising it's a demon.
Of course.
There's like a gate to the demon lands that randomly opens sometimes, and a bunch of people from her village get sent on a quest to go stop it and stop the demons from crossing over. And she's like, I never want to be picked to be a quester. She's like, I just want to, you know, have my spice farm, get a cat, live my best life, get drunk with my best friend. But then she accidentally saves this demon. And then the demon's like, hey, you have to help me. And she's like, what the fuck I do? And he's like, help me or I'll kill your family. She's like, fine. But then he's really hot. And it uses like modern speak, but in a fantasy setting, which is, when it's not done trying to take itself seriously, like say in From Blood and Ash. Yes, when it's done tongue in cheek, it's just funny.
Yeah.
She's like, what the actual fuck? And she's like, I don't know, they use lots of like modern idioms, but in a fantasy setting. And then there's a bit towards the end where it's like essentially just a quest. We've done our fucking with the demon, and then we go on a quest, and then we have more fucking at the end.
I love that.
It's good. It's good fun. It was really short. It's really enjoyable. I'll definitely be reading the rest of them. I think they are on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
Although the books are pretty.
It's the Meads and Mishaps series.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I was like laughing out loud. And it even, is this one of the ones that made me cry towards the end? No, I don't think this one did. One of them made me cry. I'm sure I'll figure out as we go through. I don't think this one did. You know what this was like? It didn't take itself so seriously. It was silly, fun fantasy, and I enjoyed it so much.
Did you read this on holiday, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it a really good holiday
it was such a good holiday read. I loved having to hold that cover up while I was reading in restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Not much else to say. Read it. It's fun. 200 pages.
Do it.
200 pages as well. Yeah. Lots of like, she's like really sarcastic and just like, oh, it's just so funny.
Oh, that sounds brilliant.
And she's plus size. She's black. So there's also all kinds of like good stuff there. And there's lots of stuff to do with her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Her hair care. So she gets dragged through a swamp and she's like, oh, I've got to clean my hair now. And then the demon helps take care of her curls. So the demon helps, like, wash out her curls, and he's like, tell me what to do, how do I do this properly?
What a good guy.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I want to read the rest of it. Obviously, I still have only read the Christmas novella one.
Yeah.
I need to read the rest, though.
Yeah, I think they're just good fun. Just some silly, goofy times.
What they are,
silly, goofy time.
Yeah. It's just like cozy fantasy, I think.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
very low stakes.
Yeah. Go again.
The Nightmare Man by J.H. Marquette.
This sounds like a lovely book.
Markert. There's an R in there. It was too long. I do these horror books just being too long. Like, you lose the horror when there's just too much going on.
Authors trying to reach a certain amount of, like, legitimacy by, like, making their books longer.
Yeah, maybe. So this was like a horror crime. Its description is T. Kingfisher meets Cassandra Clare. I mean, I wouldn't say yes to that at all, actually. So Blackwood Mansion looms, surrounded by nightmare pines, atop the hill over a small town of New Haven. Ben Bookman, he's an author.
Bookman.
Best-selling novelist and heir to the Blackwood estate.
That's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
I know, yeah. Spent a weekend at the ancestral home to finish writing his latest horror novel, The Scarecrow. Now, on the eve of the book's release, the terrible story within begins to unfold in real life. So, basically, he's written this horror series, and then people start dying as the matching what happens in his horror series.
Okay.
And then a detective gets involved, and he has like this weird insomnia / sleep paralysis issue. Ben, the author, has this thing with there is literally so many storylines in this.
You don't like it when they've got too many.
No, especially when there's no point to it. And at the end, it was just like winding up all of the many storylines. I was like, I am so freaking bored, and I don't care about half these storylines. I wanted the cover has a scarecrow on it. I wanted scary scarecrow. I wanted like clown in a cornfield, but scarecrow.
Yeah.
And no.
Oh.
For me, it was disappointing. I'm sure for other people they would enjoy it. I didn't even find the horror that great either. Like, it did have some good ideas, but then it ruined it with the other ideas. Yeah, I don't know, and it was far too long. I don't know. I might pick up something by this author again as long as it's not long, because this was 12 hours. 12 hours. I'm just, all of these audiobooks killed me this month. The long ones. I just wish, I don't know. There was such a good idea, and then there was too much around it.
It's always frustrating when there's so many good ingredients here, you just didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah. And then I was like, I don't know, I would have rather just watched Goosebumps. I don't know. Yes.
To get your horror fix.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
At the beginning, it reminded me of like Castle with the. Have you seen Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the killings matching the book. I was thinking of Castle. But
I haven't watched that in ages. I never finished it. You know?
I think I've got like 2 seasons left to catch up on.
Yeah, I never finished it. They got a bit samey. And they start to, it's like more and more batshit stuff starts happening. They always do this with American shows. Escalate to keep it interesting. And I'm like, maybe just end it, you know?
Yeah.
And more and more batshit stuff happens, and then they don't act traumatised afterwards, and they just go back to their normal life. And
they did that with Bones as well. That's why I'm a firm CSI fan, because they just had a formula. They stuck that formula for 15 seasons, and it was good. There was no...
It's a field of roll.
There was no miss. It was good. The only time they went a bit crazy was when they had a character, Robert Langdon, I think he was called. Is that what he was called? No, something Langdon. Robert Langdon is the one from the Dan Brown books, isn't it? Anyway, and his character was a bit stupid, but he was only in it for one season, and it was back to good stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
Nightmare Man did not give me nightmares. That's the tagline. I hope one day I will be the type of reviewer that they ask for me for reviews to put on covers, and that will be
your one-liner.
The Nightmare Man did not give me nightmares.
What was that Pirates Tea one, lesbian one that came out?
Treason Tea.
Yeah, that
Can't
one.
spell tea without treason. Can't spell treason without tea.
So the second one's coming out.
Yeah.
Apparently the book dedication is that. It is to all the 1-star reviews who said it had lesbians in it.
Yeah.
I've added more lesbians.
So that's Rebecca Fawn. She recently did a ARG, and I took part in it, and for her new book. So she sent everyone that took part her signature card to put in the new book. So I've got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I love her. She's
to all the
brilliant.
1-star reviews.
Because there was too many lesbians.
I've now added more lesbians.
I love it.
Did you want to do one more, or should we hop back to one of mine?
Yeah, go to yours.
So these were all read on holiday, by the way, so I just need to set the vibe for all these books.
A beach holiday.
Book Lovers by Emily Henry.
Yay!
Oh my god, the description is long.
They always are.
I'm going to read the short version at the top.
Yeah.
A by-the-book literary agent must decide if Happily Ever After is worth challenging her whole life for in this insightful, delightful new novel from the best-selling author of Beach Read.
What did you think?
I liked this one. I liked Beach Read more, but I really liked this one. I liked the journey, like the fact that we got this woman who's like a career woman, doesn't want kids, and she stays that way to the end of the book.
Yeah.
And she just meets a man who's just like, yeah, I'm aware of you do you. I'm like, snaps for you, my girl. You go be a powerful bitch, and I will be there.
I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
I really like that. This is the one where she's like talking about how she'll never be the female main character. Yeah. And like, I love
all the kind of breaking the fourth wall kind of things they do.
They go to like a small town and fall in love, then the girlfriend in the high heels gets dumped, and she's like, that's me.
Yeah. So she's like, she has been that girl 3 times. Yeah. So she's been broken up with by boyfriends who have gone into a rural little town, found a girl there.
Had the Hallmark movie love. Yeah.
And her sister is having her 3rd kid, and her sister has convinced her to go on this holiday together to this little town that's in the setting of her little sister's favourite author, who happens to be one of the authors she represents. And they go there to kind of have this bonding kind of moment together, and there's all sorts of fishy stuff going on with her little sister that she can't work out. Yeah. And she's worried that something's wrong with her sister's marriage, or like something's going on that she can't figure out. Her sister has this bucket list of like romance novel things that they have to do. But obviously being married with 3 kids, nearly 3 kids, she's like, well, I can't do like the romance part of it, so you have to do that for me. Yeah. But then she meets an editor she knew from her New York days, who's also known for being quite cutthroat. Yeah. And they're both just quite cutthroat, and he's just
good in their field.
He's just like, don't change, love it.
Yeah.
Like, you do you. He's like, go on, chop my book to pieces, go on, do it, shock.
I like how a lot of it is about her relationship with her sister as opposed to her relationship with him.
Yeah, and like the journey they go on is not about fixing her in any way.
No.
It's just about like her and her sister reconnecting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's no like miscommunication, which is
no
like the one that I don't like very much.
No, and like
this is the one where he's like working in a coffee shop, and she just sits there and works on a book, and
so,
they kind of like the coffee. It's like attached to a bookshop or whatever, isn't it?
No, his parents own the bookstore, and he's taking care of the bookstore because his dad's been poorly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And that's the only place in town that has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That works. So she ends up going to work there because she can't take a month off work.
No, and he's working from there as well.
Yeah, while he takes care of his family. And then they end up having time to work on a book together.
Yeah.
And this book is by the same author that she represents. It's her little sister's favourite author. And in
it's a very hyped book, isn't it? Like anticipated.
Yeah, and then in this book one of her authors is writing is about like it's about a film script agent, so not a literary agent, who's high powered and like cold and cruel, and then about her journey, and then she begins to worry that this is how the world sees her, and she's like, this book is about me, and she's like,
fucking play about us,
and she's like, I refuse to be Nora, like I think it's Nora that's in the book anyway, and it's all about her comparing herself to this imaginary person, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the ending.
I love Emily Henry.
That's the one that made me cry. And I remember now, because her and her sister, like, they kind of grow up different, and then this is what they go through in the book.
Yeah.
Is them getting to this point of realising they want different things.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, unresolved stuff from their mum, isn't there, in it?
Yeah, mum passed away when her little sister was, like, 16.
Yeah.
So she had to take on guardianship of her sister, which obviously then twisted the whole sister relationship into a mother-daughter thing, but not really.
And also meant that she had to be responsible
and she had to sacrifice a lot of stuff that her sister didn't know she sacrificed.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of comes bubbling out during this time.
Yeah. I think it's a really good book.
Yeah, I really liked it.
So good.
And the end, I love the end.
Yeah, it's just a very satisfying ending.
Oh, well, especially at first, you think you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because they choose not to have the storybook ending.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like reference in the book that, like, we're not going to have, this isn't a storybook.
Yeah.
And then they do, it's just so good.
It is.
I saw what was going to happen coming, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from it, does it? It's still just so good.
Yeah, but the bit that made me cry, I think, where was I? There's another time where I'm crying behind sunglasses and I've got like tears coming down under the sunglasses and I'm like, oh. just trying to like
just sweating
just sweating specifically from my eyes, don't worry about it,
in tear tracks. Oh, I love that.
But yeah, that was another
10 out of 10, eh?
I've gone and bought another Emily Henry. I've got her next one that's coming out on pre-order. I am a fan. I think I definitely prefer her to Ali Hazelwood.
Yeah, I've not read Ali Hazelwood yet, but I've loved all the Emily Henrys. So
I think I can definitively say now I think I prefer her. It's just got a bit more depth.
Yeah.
I just think I need some plot with my smut.
The characters have a bit of grit to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I read this novella. Short story. It's 150 pages.
We need to look at the definitions of when does a novella become a short story?
It's to do with the word count.
Ah.
So
okay.
Yeah. The Bell Chime by Mona KabbaniThe. This was a horror that I saw on KU, so I decided to give it a try, which is Kindle Unlimited for those who don't know.
Not in the know of the lingo.
I have a link on my beacons if you want to try KU for a month. Oh, this was... Okay. How to say this without being rude? No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
I went into this not expecting much, and I loved it so much. Look at the cover. I think the cover's quite cute. But
what's the cool cover?
I don't know, I just thought, it's a quick, short horror read. I'll just read it. It's on KU. It's probably not that great. And I thought it was really, really good. I would definitely check out more about this author. I'll read the description.
Okay.
So, can you hear the bell chime? A girl suffering from paralysing night terrors finds a missing poster hanging from the door of her apartment building. On that poster is a photograph of a frighteningly familiar face. It's her, only she's never seen this photo before, and something about its grin scares her, how its eyes seem to follow her no matter where she finds herself in the room. Over a series of strange events to follow, events that will make her question whether her sanity is still there or fleeting, she must discover what is real and what is the nightmare. It was really, really good. So at the beginning, there's this woman and she's going out to the little, bodega next door to get some bacon for breakfast. She goes down the apartment building and she gets to the front door of the apartment building and there's a poster there, a missing poster, and it's a picture of her.
Ugh.
And it's a picture she's never seen before, and it's been edited or photoshopped, and the mouth is really creepily grinning, and it looks like the eyes are following her everywhere, and it was so good. And it follows different characters, it jumps around in time, so it's and the narrator is the author, so it's but to understand we need to go back a bit, and then it goes back and it explains something else, so it's in 3 parts. And the character, I can't actually remember her name, she has night terrors, and then she starts seeing things, so you'll read this whole scene and then you'll find out that didn't happen, she just visualised that happening. It was really good, it really got under my skin.
As someone who has extremely real dreams sometimes, I have had trouble sometimes distinguishing what was real and what was a dream.
Yeah.
Really, really had a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah, don't read this book. But for everyone else, read it. This, in 150 pages, creeped me out more than that,
have you ever lucid dreamed? Have you ever lucid dreamed?
Not for a long time.
Yeah. I haven't had it in a while.
I don't think I sleep long enough now for dreams, really, because of my children. But I do. Well, no, because I do have nightmares actually quite a lot. A lot of nightmares actually. I take that back. My son came home with a mask he'd made at the British Children's Museum. He went for a Halloween activity day with his grandparents, and they did pumpkin carving and made a pumpkin, not mask, hat, no, crown, yeah, big pumpkin crown. And I put it, without thinking, I just put it on the this light shade in the corridor. And then yesterday morning when I got out of bed at 4 a.m. to go and sort him out, I was like, the fuck, I thought it was a person in the corridor. Oh my god.
I mean, you have what I consider one of the cardinal sins, and it's a mirror facing your bed.
Do I? Oh yeah, I do, don't I? Yeah.
Because you know what? One night, demon version of you is going to sit up in that mirror and you're going to be looking at it.
You know...
so I covered that mirror over when I was sitting for you.
But I'm on this side of the bed, so the mirror doesn't...
Oh, you can't see
my
it?
partner definitely can see that mirror.
Yeah.
I get scared by... there's often something hanging on the edge of the door in my son's room, and when I wake up in the night, I think that's a person peeking around the door.
So yes, as someone who's had incredibly vivid dreams, I mean, I haven't had them in a really long time, but especially the ones I haven't had them in ages, but I have had dreams where I could smell, taste and touch in them. And distinguishing reality from that is so hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Even though you're in a dream situation that looks not real, and people don't have proper faces, because they don't in dreams, do they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. I don't get them very often. I used to especially get arguments that I'd had with the horrible ex. They used to come back to me in the very vivid dreams, and I'm like, why are we... But I get to say my piece.
Yeah, you get to actually...
So it's my brain was come on, act this out. Get over this.
The other night, my son woke up 3-4 times, and when he was waking up, he was screaming and shaking. He couldn't even see us. He wasn't... My son is he sits up and talks in his sleep. He's just never stopping. He's always got something to say.
Always talking.
And my partner was like, what's happened? Something's obviously on your mind. And then I was getting worried because I always go to the dark place. And So my other half was like, has something happened? Has someone hurt you? Has someone touched you? What's happened? And my son was like, yes, my friends were touching me. And so my partner was like, where did they touch you? And he was like, on my shoulder. There's me in a hallway.
Your heart's just dropped out of your asshole.
My shoulder. And my other half was like, okay, lay down now.
Oh, bless him.
Because I always get really worried. Like when he went through a phase where he was like wetting himself a bit, and I was like to my partner, that's a sign of sexual abuse. My partner was like, I'll go and have a word.
Hey, it's better to be over vigilant. Yeah.
No, he's just having bad dreams about something, usually about owls or scorpions. Owls or scorpions. He's very scared of owls.
Why have owls? What have owls done to him? Why have they wronged him? They are weird creatures.
They're scary in the Gruffalo.
Oh. Like, have you ever seen an owl's legs? If you lift up its feathers. I feel like that really makes it a less terrifying creature.
We showed him that.
Yeah. Or like an owl wet.
We told him that we were saying how silly it was that their head moves all the way around. No, that wasn't silly, that was scary. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck.
Like, can you imagine if a person's head did that?
And then when we were at the zoo, when we were on holiday, they had a little burrowing owl, which is super tiny, and we showed him them, and he thought they were really cute, and I was like, see, owls
are okay. Owls are our friends.
And you know when you hear birds that sounds, they make a coo, and he's like, it's an owl. And I'm like, no, it's just a generic bird.
Oh my god, we had a really loud owl here the other night, because my house backs onto a woods. And me and my brother were watching TV, and we just heard it, ooh, and it was like, fuck. It was so loud,
against your window.
Because it set the dogs off, obviously. Yeah. And it was like, that was so loud, though.
That's unnecessary.
Alright, should we do more books?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't even know what I did with my phone now.
It's underneath, behind your bag.
Yeah,
hi. Continuing the theme of silly fun.
Yeah.
I read My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine, which is a new one that's come out lately.
I've been watching this. I watched everyone read arcs of it, and everyone seemed to enjoy it, and now it's out. Yeah, is it fun?
It's good.
The cover's fun.
Yeah. It's a bit of a long description, but we're going to do it. Alright. True love is at stake in this charming debut romantic comedy. Yeah. I love that vampires are coming back. Oh, love that shit. Cassie Greenberg loves being an artist, but it's a tough way to make a living. On the brink of eviction, she's desperate when she finds a too good to be true apartment in a beautiful Chicago neighborhood. Cassie knows there has to be a catch. Only someone with a secret to hide will rent out a room for that price. Of course, her new roommate, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day, he's out all night on business, and talks like he walked out of a Regency romance novel. He also leaves Cassie heart-melting notes around the apartment, cares about her art, and asks about her day. And he doesn't look half bad shirtless. On the rare occasions they're both home and awake. But when Cassie finds bags of blood in the fridge that definitely weren't there earlier, Frederick has to come clean. Cassie's sexy new roommate is a vampire, and he has a proposition for her. So, yeah, Frederick, one of Frederick's friends gave him a potion as a joke that sent him into a 100-year coma. And then he's woken up, finding himself a century out of date.
Oh, no.
And he's, like, really struggling to get by. Oh. And he's relying entirely on this sort of frenemy, Frederick, to help him navigate the modern world. So his solution to fix all this is he decides to get a modern roommate to learn about modern society, and his plan was just to observe from a distance. Like, never really cross paths, but just learn through being around
osmosis
a modern person. And then she turns up and he's like, oh, she's really pretty. But he's like, I don't want to compromise you. So he's worried about her reputation and stuff. And like, she's showing him, eventually when she realises he's a vampire, she's like trying to teach him about the modern world. And like, she shows him his Instagram, and there's a picture of a bikini on his Instagram, and he's like, the shame.
The shame!
And they go to a party together, and she gets upset about something, and they go into a bathroom together, and then he's like, we can also merge together, your reputation. And she's like, it's fine. It's not like that anymore. Funny. It's just silly, fun and cute. Yeah. She finds out fairly early on that he's a vampire. And he's like, can you just teach me about modern world? And like she takes him shopping for clothes and like
oh, that is adorable.
It's just cute.
Is it a series or just a standalone?
I think it's just a standalone.
Yeah. Oh.
I reckon they could make a series of it, because towards the end it's obviously like there's the whole thing of she's a human, he's a vampire. Yeah. How are they going to stay together? But it's just fun and cute. There's some good spicy bits in the middle. Where she's like really worried he's going to be kind of old-fashioned and prudish, and then he's not.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's just cute. Her art sounded a bit crap. She did mixed media art.
Sounds a bit crap.
Her art sounds crap. It's like, no wonder we weren't getting jobs. But by the end, like, she gets the courage up to like go like apply for a job she thinks she's not qualified for, and then she gets it, and it's like stuff like that. Then he wants to listen. Like, none of her friends really get her art or want to talk about it. Yeah. He's like, no, teach me. Like, explain it to me. She takes down one of his like fox hunting paintings in her room and puts up one of hers, and he's like, explain this to me.
What is?
He's like, it's trash. And she's like, don't insult my art. And he's like, no, it's literally trash, Cassie. And he's like, pointing. She's like, no, I use mixed media and I use found stuff. It's mixed media, but she uses found. She uses trash. She uses trash in her pictures to make a comment on modern world.
Sounds like a guy would eat up.
And he's like, but no, darling, it's literally trash.
It sounds like what we do in the shadows, like that kind of
humor. That kind of vibe. Yeah. Good silly fun.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might need to read that.
Yeah, it was, how many pages is it?
It doesn't look very big. Like
352?
Oh.
But it didn't feel like 352.
Yeah.
It was a good pace to it.
Quick. Okay. I read The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. Okay. This is, I always tend to go, not always, I tend to go on little rants about how I dislike male authors that write unreliable female narrators.
Yeah.
This is about a unreliable female narrator, but it was written by a female author, and it just had a different vibe to it. And so I stand by my thing.
You think you're right?
I don't think men can do it. I just don't think they can. I don't feel like they can write unreliable female narrators without it seeming a bit.
They're hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So this Maya was a high school senior when her best friend Aubrey mysteriously dropped dead in front of the enigmatic man named Frank, whom they'd been spending time with all summer. That's actually incorrect. Only Maya's been spending time with him. Just saying. 7 years later, Maya lives in Boston with a loving boyfriend and is kicking the secret addiction that has allowed her to cope with what happened years ago, the gaps in her memories and the lost time she cannot account for. But her past comes rushing back when she comes across a recent YouTube video in which a young woman suddenly keels over and dies in a diner while sitting across from none other than Frank. Plunged into the trauma that has defined her life, Maya heads to her Berkshire's hometown to relive that fateful summer, the influence Frank once had on her, and the obsessive jealousy that nearly destroyed her friendship with Aubrey. So, when she was at school, her best friend drops dead in front of her when she's talking to Frank, who is like this man who lives in the town. And they never could find out how she died. She just literally dropped dead. There's no, the autopsy had no explanation. And Maya's convinced Frank had something to do with it, or Frank killed her. And obviously no one believed her, and she's been on like sleeping tablets ever since, and she's got an addiction to these tablets. And then she's on social media one day, and she comes across a video, and it's like, watch this girl drop dead, and she ends up watching it. And a woman just drops dead at a table in a diner, and she's sitting there talking to Frank. And then Maya's like, I've got to go back and find out what happened. It was really good. It was a really good thriller. She there's a mystery element to it. She's at the same time she's trying to kick her addiction to her prescription tablets. So that's where like the unreliable part comes in.
Okay.
And when she tells people about her theories, they don't like just dismiss her. Like they're like, well, I don't think that's correct, but explain to me what you think. Yeah. So it's
not being like, oh, you silly goofy woman.
Yeah. It's really well written. The like the summing up of it all was for me very satisfying.
Okay.
I would read by this author again.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good.
I enjoyed it.
Good one.
Yes.
Me?
Go for it.
I read, and you're going to be excited about this, Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz.
If you loved it.
I enjoyed it. I did not love it as much as you loved it, but I can understand why you loved it.
I believe that this is published by Wednesday Books, so we support the boycott, just FYI.
Doesn't say on Storygraph, the publisher.
You click editions, I think. Yes. But here it's published by what's that? Piquet, something like that.
Piatkus.
That's it. Yeah, but in America it's published by Wednesday Books.
Is that going to go back in there?
Okay. But you didn't dislike it?
No, I didn't dislike it. But I did not have a sort of obsession like you did. But I think I'll read the second book.
Yeah.
So let me do the description. Yes. Hazel Sinner is a lady who wants to be a surgeon more than she wants to marry. Jack Courier is a resurrection man who's just trying to survive in a city where it's too easy to die. When the two of them have a chance encounter outside the Edinburgh Anatomist Society, Hazel thinks nothing of it at first, but after she's kicked out of renowned surgeon Dr. Beecham's lectures for being the wrong gender, she realises that her new acquaintance might be more helpful than she first thought, because Hazel has made a deal with Dr. Beecham. If she can pass the medical examination on her own, Beecham will allow her to continue her medical career. Without official lessons, though, Hazel will need more than just her books. She'll need corpses to study. Lucky that she's made the acquaintance of someone who digs them up for a living then. But Jack is his own problem. Strange men have been skulking around the cemeteries, his friends are disappearing off the streets, and the dreaded Roman fever, which wiped out thousands a few years back, is back with a vengeance. Nobody important cares until Hazel. Now Hazel and Jack must work together to uncover the secrets buried not just in unmarked graves, but in the very heart of Edinburgh society. Yeah, so we've got this girl who's she's a lady. And she's a lady, and she's supposed to just get engaged and get married and have babies. And she's like, I kind of don't want to do that.
When's this set? It's like 1800 or something.
Yes, I think so.
Did you say? I can't remember.
If it's gothic, it'll be 1800s, but I don't know exactly. It doesn't say in the description.
So it's like Burke and Hare times.
But it's set in Edinburgh. Found the big start a bit slow.
Yeah, I guess so.
It took a while to get going, but once it got going, I really enjoyed it, especially the bit where she's treating all the poor people in her house and all that that whole bit. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so to set the mood, I read this when I was in hospital with my daughter, so I didn't know where else to go. So literally read it in like a day, just sitting in the hospital. So I think like
That's a bit on the vibe, to be fair.
Yeah, and it just I don't know if I would have loved it so passionately if it hadn't have been that kind of perfect scenario.
But definitely the hospital setting, given that a lot of this is about medical treatment and that kind of thing. Yeah. It's a little bit body horror, which is again a thing you quite like. Lots of talk of squishy anatomy things,
which I love.
I like
little touch of like surrealism.
The ending is where sort of we get the kind of touch of magic coming in. I saw the ending coming, but we don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
No.
It's like well foreshadowed kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to read the next one. It'd be interesting where they take this.
I've not finished
how
the
it
next
ended.
One. It didn't grip me straight away, so I kind of put it down. I do need to finish it though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they take this, given how it ended.
Yeah. But I do. I've not read the second one, but I do think. I think it would have worked perfectly as a standalone as well.
Yeah, I think it could have just stopped there.
Another one.
Yeah,
but I haven't read it, so.
So I enjoyed this.
Oh yeah, I would like to reread it. I might reread it before I read the second one. With all of my reading spare time. How many more you got?
One more after this.
Yeah, okay. I read as part of the read along that was done this week, Minor Detail by Adania Shibli. So there was a read along that was put together on Instagram for this book. It's only a short book, it's 115 pages, something like that. Basically this is a Palestinian author, and she wrote this in 2017, and this year she won an award for it with the Frankfurt Book Festival, I think that's what it's called, because it's been translated to German, and she won one of the awards there, and she was meant to go and pick up an award and like whatever, and they took it away from her because she's Palestinian.
Yes, I have heard about this.
So Instagram put together a read along of the book in support of her. So I read it because it was available on Script. It was really like sad, obviously.
Yeah.
So Minor Detail begins during the summer of 1949, 1 year after the war that the Palestinians mourn as the Nakba, the catastrophe that led to the displacement and expulsion of more than 700,000 people, and the Israelis celebrate as the War of Independence. Israeli soldiers capture and raped. We do say that word on here sometimes, so yeah. Capture and rape a young Palestinian woman and kill and bury her in the sand. Many years later, a woman in Ramallah, I think that's how you pronounce it, becomes fascinated to the point of obsession with this minor detail of history, a haunting meditation on war, violence and memory. Minor Detail cuts to the heart of the Palestinian experience of disposition, life under occupation, and the persistent difficulty of piecing together a narrative in the face of ongoing erasure and disempowerment. And how crazy that was written in 2017. And it was really sad. It was what I expected, and yet I was still sad. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Very beautifully written. It was very beautifully written. There were so many lines. If I was highlighting it, if it was a physical book, it would all be highlighted. It was just so
like beautiful tragedy, kind of.
Yeah. It was just. I want to reread it. I think there was just so much in it that I probably didn't get the first time, and I'd love to really delve into it and really try and work out what's being said and stuff. But it was, I don't know, it really affected me more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
So it was worthy of any prizes it got, definitely.
Politically relevant, obviously, at the time we're recording this.
The cover is a bit bland. It's just a blue cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's only 100 and something pages. Definitely.
God, it must have been for it to be that impactful in 200 pages. Oh.
Yeah, it's like split in two. So there's the first part, which is the 40 something, and then the 2017, and it's like, and there's loads of parts. It's just like repetition, because that's what like war and conflict and occupation is. It's just repetition, like the repetition between what happened then and happens now, and just
okay. How many more have you got? Do you want to do another one?
Oh, I'm basically done now.
Okay.
I've got a couple of graphic novels I can maybe mention, but yeah, pretty much they're all the ones I wanted to talk about.
Okay. So last one for me is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, Crowns of Nyaxia, Book 1, by Carissa Broadbent. Sorry, it's done that thing because it's the audiobook. It lists the narrator as well, and it confused me for a sec. The description's long, but we're gonna do it. Human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king, Aurea carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all three vampire houses. To survive, Aurea is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Reyn is dangerous. He's a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Aurea most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari. War for the House of Night brews, shattering everything that Aurea thought she knew about her home, and Reyn may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall, in a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love. Yes, she gets adopted by the king of vampires, but she's a human. And he wants her to win this thing with the Kajari, because the winner gets to get a request or wish granted by the goddess, basically. And that's how her father came to be ruler, is he won the Kajari and basically wished to be king and for everyone else to die.
As you do.
Yeah. And then, so Reyn is part of the group of people that her father killed. And I really enjoyed it. It is long, and there's a whole long bit of it where it's just about the tactics and the training for this competition, the Kajari, mixed in with a little bit of like tidbits of what's going on outside of the Kajari, because they get locked in a room, in a house all together, all the contestants.
Yeah. And
they like are allowed to leave at sunset, and they'll have to be back by dawn.
Okay.
And in this world, vampires can't be in the daylight, but like, yeah, they can be awake in the daytime.
Just looking at when I get my copy of it, 7th of December.
That's the book 2 is coming out soon. Is that book 2?
No, book 1. They're re-releasing it traditionally. Okay. So I've got it pre-ordered for the traditional one.
Yeah, I did listen to the audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the hardcover coming in when it comes out in December.
So that's the only criticism I think. There's the whole middle bit was very much about like the tactics and then like the building relationship between her and Reyn. It doesn't just happen. She resists it for ages, which I quite like. Like it builds, the relationship builds very naturally on its own as he starts to challenge a lot of what she's been told is true by her father.
Yeah.
I kind of saw the ending coming, sort of. Because there's a few like big reveals at the end, and I saw at least one of them come in, and the other one I was like, okay, sort of, but not in a bad way. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's just another badass girl who fights and can somehow win against all the best vampire warriors.
Of course.
And yeah, so she's a human, but she somehow wins against the most elite vampires. And then a little romance in the middle.
I mean, it was indie published. It had so much praise that it's now been picked up traditionally. So
yeah, it's a 15-hour audio,
yeah.
and I definitely listened to it in several pieces. But then I finished it when I was walking around in bright sunny Spain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that arrives, I will definitely be reading that.
I'll definitely go read the next book.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Because the ending is dramatic as fuck.
I don't know, is it just a duology or is it a series?
I'm not sure if it's going to be. How many books are going to be in the series? There's a lot packed into it. Crowns of Nyaxia, it's called. Well, I've just googled that, and Crowns of Nyaxia book 3 came up in the suggested.
Oh, okay, so there's probably going to be more then.
How many books? Excuse me. Google.
Yeah, there's definitely at least 3 that are named, so... Oh, there's a...
6 books total, this is saying.
Oh, there's a little novella between the 1 and 2 as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then this is an FAQ on her Carissa Broadbent's website. It says, the core Crowns of Nyaxia series will be 6 books total, split into 3 duologies.
She's got quite a few different series, if you want to try anything else by her.
I think I might.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll be on Audible and Kindle Unlimited if she's...
Yeah, probably.
Indie.
Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah, I do want to read this.
So I enjoyed that. That's good. More vampires as well.
What's not to love? Okay, I'm going to end on a comic I read, a graphic novel. And it's... Okay. I
love it when you start with, okay.
I had such an emotional reaction to this in a positive way, but I just don't understand why or how. I was trying to explain to my partner, because he got it out of the library and he read it before me, and then he gave it to me to read after, and he was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And when I read it, and I was really emotional and like really emotional about it, and he was just like, yeah, it was alright. So it's the first volume in a series called Golden Rage. I think the first one literally came out this year, so I'm hoping they'll do more volumes of it. So its description is: older women have been deemed useless to society and abandoned on a remote island where they must fight to the death whilst making friends and desert. Welcome to Golden Rage, a not too distant dystopia where Battle Royale meets the Golden Girls. I don't know if that's a good description. Well, yeah, so you follow this woman who wakes up on this island, and so you kind of see it through her eyes. And so you don't know how this has happened or why it's happening or anything, but once you can't have children, you're chucked onto this island and just left there to like fend for yourselves. And they, make friends, and they, chat about how just because they can't have children doesn't mean that they're not, that they're worthless, doesn't mean that they don't have something to bring to society, all of this. And there's a couple of panels that really, really got to me, and as I said, my partner was just like, I don't fucking understand what's wrong with you right now. So they're in these like hot springs, having a bath, and then one of the women gets out of the bath, and it's illustrated her like getting out of the springs, and another lady holds out a hand to help her out, and she's in like her 70s or 80s or something, and I was like, it was so beautifully drawn and illustrated and framed and coloured. And I was like to my partner, you just don't understand how you just cannot in media see an older woman's body unless it's in a horror setting.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't know how much this means to me. You just don't see it
done beautifully.
Yeah, I was like, these 2 panels of her getting out of the bath and another woman holding out her hand, like that, like softness, and I was like, this isn't something that you ever see. I was like, you have no idea. The only time you see older women that are naked or see their bodies,
they
are scary
gruesome.
women, and they have horrible teeth and they're out to get you. And I was like, it was just, I don't know why, it really, really got to me. It was just so beautiful, and I was like, oh, I don't know why, but I love this so much. And then I was reading about, there's a big chunk at the end of it that had like, the people that were involved. They had written about why they got involved in the project or where the ideas came from, blah blah. And like the main character is someone who's having early menopause. She's only like in her 40s or something when she's been for a time. And the writer who came up with the idea for the story, she was going through early menopause, and she said she couldn't find anything that framed it in a positive way. There was nothing that was like, your life isn't over, don't worry. And then it had like things like how to forage and what you can make with what you can forage. It like had at the back of the book, it was just like all these
that's cool,
beautiful little just girl stuff. I don't know. You know, it's just, I don't know why, but it just really hit me.
Oh, it's like the Barbie scene.
Oh yeah,
where she's like, "You're beautiful." Yeah. Which my friends were like, "What's the point in this moment? Why didn't they cut this?" And I'm like, and I was like, "Well, Greta, the director, also said if they cut this thing, the whole movie's pointless. So do with that information what you will."
Like, calm down.
Yeah.
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 So, I don't know.
Or like, you still need to watch Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because it flashes between young Queen Charlotte and then modern day Queen Charlotte, and then the Bridgerton kids' mum and Lady Danbury.
Yeah.
So we go from young Lady Danbury, who's friends with the Queen, recently widowed, to old Lady Danbury. And there's a whole bit where it's like, because obviously Violet has been widowed, but she's still quite young. Obviously, like, not childbearing necessarily, but she's still quite young. And it's all about Violet sort of saying she might be ready to have romance again. It will never be the love of her life, ever.
She's already had that.
But she misses the companionship. And there's this whole bit where Lady Danbury talks to, like, no one tells our stories. Yeah. We're old ladies, and no one tells our stories. We're left on the shelf. And she's like, and Lady Danbury's like, our stories are worth telling.
That's what I want.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's really good because it's all about womanhood, but not girlhood. It's about
because we only see girlhood represented,
whereas it's about, like, there's a bit where sort of, obviously they don't talk in explicit terms, but they're almost like gossiping. Yeah. And Violet kind of admits to Lady Danbury that she's like, the garden is in bloom. That whole bit to talk about. I had a very full garden with my husband. And then when she's like, she kind of basically admits the garden is in bloom, and Lady Danbury's like, your garden is in bloom. And she's like, tell me more. She like pulls her to one side, and she's like, really tell me more, I want some more goss.
Oh my god, okay, I need to watch that.
You really, I love, like, I probably prefer Queen Charlotte to the Bridgertons.
I mean, I watched the film Cocaine Bear, which was good.
There's so many good series you just don't fucking watch. But you'll watch some fucking depressing film or a 6-hour YouTube video about the history of, like, bee farming or some shit. It makes me mad.
Oh yeah, because I watched that like 6-hour documentary about shark exploitation, how sharks are exploited in film.
So why do I feel sad today? I watched 6 hours about sharks dying.
Anywho.
See, my boyfriend tends to go through YouTube rabbit holes, and then he's like, oh, I'm feeling a bit low today, and I'm like, you told me that you went down a YouTube rabbit hole about, like, cartels in Mexico and, like, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's not light watching.
Just a bit light viewing.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna have an impact. You spent 6 hours in the dark watching that, and we're like, oh, now I feel a bit funny. Like,
a bit sad now, actually.
Didn't eat, didn't get any water, had no sunlight throughout that whole thing. And then you're like, oh, I feel a bit low, like,
But Cocaine Bear was quite funny.
Okay.
It's about a bear that takes cocaine and then goes on a murderous rampage because he's fucking out of his skull.
Well,
anyway.
glad you watched that and not the Six of Crows series. Love that for you.
Look, there's so many things I want to watch, but I want to be able to give them the attention they deserve, which I can never do. Ever.
Fair. Well, I'll talk to you about it
Ever.
in 10 years when the kids move
when
out.
my kids have moved out.
I've been rewatching Tangent before we sign off. Been rewatching What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah,
as well recently.
I've rewatched that a few times
because the new series.
I was going to say, is the new series out yet?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Guess what I'm going to watch instead of everything else.
So one of my friends last night, was like, guys, I need to tell you about this new show, and me and Jason were just like, watch it. We quote it quite a lot.
I love when the sound was going around that it was like, I can't even speak his name, and he was like, I'll say it, Mike.
Fucking Mike. And he's my big cheese, my good time boy, that bit.
Do you know what? That show...
The fucking guy.
I guess a little bit of spoilers if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I was actually really emotional when they showed like Laszlo and Colin when Colin was growing up and Laszlo was... Oh, I was really emotional about that actually. I was like, I had a bit of tears, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it doesn't take much to make me cry, but... I was just getting upset talking to you about a drawing of a half-naked woman, so, you know.
Big feelings.
I mean, women. You should get emotional about half-naked women. You should be like, goddess. Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's good.
I'll start that tonight.
We are werewolves, not swearwolves.
They were going to make a film of that, weren't they?
There is a film.
No, of the werewolves.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, there is a film. That's what the series is based on.
Yeah, no, because they were going to do a spin-off of the werewolves and they just decided not to do it in the end. And I'm glad they just did that TV show instead of the vampires, because that's much preferred. I was thinking of that earlier when your brother popped in and he was talking about seeing Blade, and I was like, oh, and Wesley Snipes in it as the vampire. That was quite funny.
That's because I've been watching it downstairs. That's probably what made him remember Blade.
Yeah.
Because we were watching that episode.
Good time.
Yeah, good fun.
Anyway.
That has been my only spooky watches. What We Do in the Shadows.
I've been watching a lot of horror.
I'm sure that's really, really good for you.
The baby's been refusing to sleep, so...
Oh. So...
I've been trying to scare her to sleep.
Can you imagine if you're some kind of Wednesday baby? Who's like...
My dream.
Spooky stuff put her to
like
sleep.
Gothic baby.
Yeah.
When my son was little, this is a complete tangent, and there's a YouTube channel called Lazy Masquerades that I listen to a lot, and he does like true crime stories and like Reddit stories, and he reads, and that's it. And he has a very like calming voice. And when my son was little, because he was a non-sleeper, #from birth, and we used to put that on and like turn the lights off and just listen to that, and my partner was like, well, what? We just let him listen to true crime to get him to sleep, and I was like, yeah, and it works. But like,
doesn't understand the words.
He's like, if he ever turns into a serial killer, this is the moment that it started. You did it, and I'd be like, yeah, well. Anyway, I started putting it on for my daughter to get her to sleep, and it worked as well. And I was like, well, what can I say?
Not my spooky babies.
What can I say? My son found his little toy chainsaw the other day that he got a few years ago, and then had it confiscated because he kept trying to chainsaw everyone. You know, my daughter and him keep having sword fights across the room.
Oh my god!
I have to show you. She does sword fights with him.
How? She's not walking yet.
She sits there, or you carry her, and she hits.
Oh, that's so funny.
And she goes and picks up a sword, and she goes, ah! And just waves it around until you come and do a sword fight with her.
That's hilarious.
My little spooky babies. Anyway, that was a complete tangent.
That's right. It was funny.
Please come and follow us on Instagram or TikTok. We would love that. We also have a Facebook group where we want to make like a book community, so please come join it. Just search for Lazy Book Lovers podcast. And I think I forgot to ask you recently, so please rate and review wherever you listen to this episode to help us in the algorithm, help us reach new people, let us know whether this is worth us spending our time doing. And yeah, we've got our 100th episode coming up next week.
Yep.
So if you have any questions, we might do a question and answer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is episode 99.
Shit.
Yeah. We're hoping on doing a question and answer, so please send us any questions you have. It's not probably too late by now, actually. Yeah, because we'll have already recorded it. Check us out next week for our 100th episode. And please share us with anyone else that you think might enjoy. Please. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week for our 100th episode. Bye.